welcome to another Ask Nerida Joy video. I have Katie back with us today, and this is Katie's third treatment that I'm giving her tonight. Go back to when we first started with Katie. One of the things that was really important was that she was not using anything for her regimen at all. She had moved here from out of state, and here being that we are here in Los Angeles, California, and she was too afraid to use products on her skin without really knowing what to use on her skin, because she had been breaking out and had suffered with acne many years ago. And the idea of using products on her skin and going back to that place of breaking out obviously was not something where she wanted to go. So when I first saw Katie, her skin was really surface dry, and when I touched her skin, when I looked at her skin, it was just very dry. She also had quite, serious pitting on her left cheek. Today we're looking at her skin, and she's no longer as dry as she was. I mean, she's still a little bit dry, I can feel today. It's been 8 weeks since I've seen her, but barely at all. In comparison, it's really nice. And also her cheek area here, it's just improved. The quality of her skin has improved so much since she's been using her home care regimen. And she did say to me tonight that she noticed her eyelids used to be more hooded and be very heavy on the tops there of her eyes. And she said she doesn't feel that way anymore because she's using treatment products, and it has lifted and lessened her puffiness and lessened her heaviness on her eyelids. So that's really wonderful. But the texture, the quality of her skin is so much better. It's more youthful. It looks really pretty. And she's still got a little bit of scarring here on the side. I'm going to work with a stronger AHA on this today. So we're just going to work in some different things. I'm going to start by cleansing her skin, but I'm really happy with her skin. It looks really good. It feels really good, and it's very slightly dry, just hardly at all. So a huge improvement from when we first saw Katie. We will be slipping in some pictures there so you can see where she used to be and where she is today. You'll be able to see that here. So really happy with that, but a really pretty skin. I'm starting off with a cleanser, and this is my K cleanser, my non-foaming gel. And we're going to work it into the skin. I continue to say it's really important to not use foaming cleansers if you are surface dry. And it's also really important to do circular motions. You put your cleanser on clean, dry hands, and you work it into your skin, which is dry. You don't want to have the face wet when you work in this particular cleanser. You want to keep it dry, and it just cleanses skin a lot better if you do it that way. So we're working in circular motions. I do a lot of upward motions with all the products, cleanser included, and we're doing just some really good circular motions to get under any fine facial hair. And we're doing, just do really well around the nose area. You want to, on the lip and on the neck as well. You don't want to forget about the neck. Okay, and these are my disposable cellulose sponges that I really like to use. I have said this many times, but I do like to use as much disposable items as I can in my treatments, because it just allows me to throw it out and not have to worry about cleaning them. These ones in particular, these comes in packs of 24, and they're flat until you put them in water, and then they expand. But they're very comfortable, they're very nice, they're very soft on the skin, and they aid a little bit as an exfoliant, as if you're using a towel as well. So I do like my washcloths and my sponges. Okay, so now we've cleansed off Katie's skin. I'm going to work in an exfoliant into her skin right now. We're just going to really sort of exfoliate. Her skin just feels so much better. You know, when a skin is really dehydrated, the levels are really dehydrated, it doesn't stay well connected underneath, and it feels like sheets. But when it's healthy and it's not surface drying, and you feel the layers are really hydrated underneath, it just all moves together, and it's a really strong structure, and so it feels completely different working on her skin. Even just as I'm cleansing, it just feels really different. So this is the exfoliating mask, and I'm going to work that into Katie's skin, and again we're going to be doing those upward motions. This one has the papaya and lemon peel powder. It also has some chamomile in it, and it is a really great exfoliant. It has a little bit of the glycolic acid, which of course we know is important on a deeper level of exfoliation. So it has that buffing effect that I'm always saying and mentioning in my videos, that buffing effect is really nice for every skin type, because granules are not for everybody. So I'm not a huge fan of the scrubs that have the little granules in it, but I am a huge fan of the ones that have more of a cream and more of a buffing effect on the epidermis, which is wonderful. So we're just working this in here for a minute, and we're going to take it off shortly. Okay, we're going to remove the exfoliating mask now, and I'm removing it with my sponges. Okay, her whole texture is very different. It just looks so much brighter, her skin, and just so much healthier. So now that we've removed the exfoliating mask, I'm going to put a little bit of healing gel on. I'm going to start working in the flavonoid. The flavonoid, because it has so many nutrients in it, it's really nice for Katie's skin. It's nice because, you know, she still has just a little bit of pitting on her skin, and that flavonoid is just going to be constantly feeding it and nourishing and just helping with the little marks, the scars on her cheeks. So this is just the healing gel. So I have some of the flavonoid in my hand here, and we're going to work this into her skin. And what I'm going to do now that we've got the healing gel, we've got the flavonoid on, I'm going to add a little bit of a very light moisturizer that's very high in the peptides. Now peptides, as we know, and there are many different types of peptides, but what peptides do is they're the bodybuilders of the skin. So they really help, again, they help to strengthen it, and they add a whole nother layer to our treatment products. So I'm just going to work this one into the skin. And this is our peptide, our light peptide moisturizer. I'm going to work this into Katie's skin, and I'm going to massage her skin for a little bit now. I'm doing a lot of massage on her cheeks because we really want to get that area working. What we know massage is so great for is that it stimulates muscle tone, but it also brings oxygen to the blood. And we want to really get that. We want to get some movement there on the cheeks. We want to really help sort of constantly be doing things to help improve this area in particular where she has the scarring. So it's important to really just work this in. Now, I've talked about this before in previous videos, but when you have scarring and pitting, you want to make sure that everything that you're putting on the face, that you're getting into that base of the pit, because that's why it's important to go different angles when you're working treatment products into the skin or treatment serums, that you're really sort of getting it to the base of the pit, because we want to help improve that whole hole there, the pitting on the skin. So it's really important. And she's a little bit up here by her temples as well. So again, we're just going to do the backwards. We're just going to work this area up here and just massage this. And I'm going quite firm, so working at different angles here just to get it sort of into these pitted areas. Now what we've seen that Katie's skin is really clean. So I know she's been doing a really good job with her cleansing. Her pore size is next to nothing. She has really very, very clean skin, and it's just really helping improve the texture and just liven it up and help really feed it a lot of nutrients is what's important here. Okay, so we've worked that in. I'm just going to go over the skin lightly with a warm towel. Most people don't cleanse their skin well enough, and when I see pictures and that people have sent in, their skin is just not clean. And when I zoom in at it on the skin, it's you know, you see blackheads, and they're not even deeper blackheads, they're surface. So I know that people just aren't cleansing their skin well enough. So I'm really, you know, you have to clean your skin well. I mean, you have to put effort into it. It's not something that you do in just a few seconds. I mean, you really should spend time massaging your cleanser into your skin. Use a warm wet washcloth to take it off. You want to clean your skin really well. And so often I'm seeing people are just not cleaning their skin well enough, and wondering why they have blackheads and wondering why you have large pores is all because, you know, pores have to be clean to be smaller. So it's really important that you keep your skin really clean. I can't say that enough, because the amount of times when I'm shown pictures and I just say, the skin's not clean. You can't treat a skin if it's not clean. I'm not even going to go there. It's like, spend time cleaning your skin. It's really important. It just makes all the difference. So you have to do that. Okay, so we have worked in some treatment products into Katie's skin. We've worked in the Q Flavonoid, we've worked in the healing gel, I've worked in a peptide cream, just to kind of really get some movement there on the cheek area. I'm going to do an AHA on her today. Her skin is feeling really good. I'm going to go a little bit stronger than my my normal AHA. I'm going to up it to my Fruit Complex number 2. It's a slightly stronger AHA, and we're going to work that in well into those cheeks, making sure that we get into that pitting area again well. Okay, so this is my Fruit Complex number 2, and it's a complex of the alpha hydroxy acid. So it does have the glycolic, the lactic, the malic, tartaric, and citrus. It has all the different molecules in there that work on the many different levels within the skin. So they're all a different molecular size and weight. And what we want to make sure we do, as I said, we want to make sure we get to the base of any pitting. So that means that you've got to put it on in different directions, and we're going to be going upward, downward, side to side, any which way we can, to make sure we really sort of work it into the skin and get to the base of any pitting on her cheeks. Okay, I'm just putting another coat of the the number 2, Fruit Complex number 2 on. But again, we're just sort of working it in here well, upward motion, sidewards, down, all these different directions to work it into the cheek area. Now this is going to be a little bit stingy on her skin. It is an AHA, so it is expected to be stinging. Don't forget to do the upper lip, often in here, this part just in the center of the lip. There is often pitting there and larger pores on people, so you want to make sure you really work it into that area. Get around the sides of the nose. Okay, we're going to leave this on her for a few minutes. And while this is on her skin, I'm just going to get some clean, fresh water, and it's going to be cool. So we shall be back to remove this shortly. Okay, so we are back, and we are going to take off the Fruit Complex number 2. It's been on Katie's skin for about 5 minutes, and we're going to take it off. She's starting to get a little bit pink in color, which is normal when you do an AHA. So I have some cool water here, and we're just going to take it off. Now, even if you just have it on for a minute, it's absolutely fine, and it's still doing something. So very often I say to my clients, basically by the time I get the fruit complex on your skin, all over your face, I will be getting a cool towel and taking it off. You don't have to leave AHAs on the skin a really long time for them to work. So just whether it's a minute or 2 or 5 minutes, it's working. So, you know, whenever you can feel it tingling, and even if it's not tingling, because people that are used to having AHAs done, glycolics and the different peels, the alpha hydroxy acid peels, if you're used to having them done and you're using an AHA product at home, a moisturizer or serum, then often your skin doesn't tingle as much because it's used to it. So it doesn't mean that it's not working. It's always working when it's on the skin, but just sometimes you're going to feel it more than others. So we've taken off the fruit complex number 2. I like to use a little bit of the healing gel after taking it off. So we're putting it on the skin here now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting the purifying mask on her skin. And the purifying mask is a really nice mask for someone who's pretty oily, or just, you know, that's had oil in the past. It has a brightening effect on the skin, so it helps to lighten. Often within a pit, you'll see that there could be staining, especially if someone's still very actively oily. Within a pore, it often looks deeper than it really is because the oil stains the skin. So the overactive sebaceous glands, that oil stains the pore and makes it look deeper often because it leaves that shadow around the skin. So once you clean the pores out and you've done a really good clean, you've done an exfoliation, you're going to see the pores don't look as deep because you've lightened up the pore itself. So it's really important. Again, exfoliation is really important. Cleansing your skin is really important. So right now we're going to put on the purifying mask. And very often this particular mask is one that I just opened, so it's a new one. When you have a plastic cap on your products like this, you just get it off your cap and throw the cap away. So whenever you open up a cream, you don't want to leave the cap sitting on top of it. You always want to discard it. So I'm just going to use my finger directly on here because I'm throwing this cap out once I've done here. So this is a purifying mask. I'm working this into Katie's skin. Underneath it, she just has the healing gel. So her skin still feels a little bit warm from the fruit complex number 2 that I did on her a minute ago. And I'm just working this into the skin. And like the treatment products and the fruit complex, I had to work it in different motions, you know, this way, all these different, the ways that I'm working it in. And everything that you put on the skin, you have to do that. You have to work it in and make sure, again, you're getting down to the base of the pitting is really important. So we're working this in here now. Constantly working in circular motions here as we work this into her skin. And for a lot of people that tend to be more oily, and not that Katie has that much oil in her skin anymore, she does not. But for a lot of people, they have oil right down here underneath the jawline and down onto the neck. So it's really important, again, that you make sure that when you're putting your mask on and you're treating your client's skin, that you are going down onto the neck area. I very often have to stand to make sure that I'm getting it properly, or certainly move my chair around to the side to make sure that we are getting under the neck area. So I'm just going to work this mask into the cheeks a little bit better because, as I said earlier, I just want to make sure that we're getting down to the base of the pit and right around the sides of the eyes here too. You know, sometimes if someone, and in some of my treatments I'm doing, especially working the eye area, I'm really treating it. I'm putting on, you know, eye products, I'm putting on my creams or my serums or my eye gel, and I'm working it in. And sometimes in treatments, I'm not focusing on the eye area, but when they leave and when we've done the treatment, before they leave, we make sure we put on the eye product so that they still have it on when they leave the treatment room. But for a lot of people that use the false eyelashes, you can't get too much oil around the eyelashes. You can't often use steam or very little steam, and you also can't get a lot of oil around there because they won't last if you do that. So it's okay to just make sure that you put an eye product on when they leave, and you're not worrying about doing so much in treatment around the eye area if their eye area is really pretty good. But when you have the false lashes on, it's really hard to treat the eyes anyway, because it's hard to maneuver around the eyelashes without getting different creams on it. So you just have to be super careful. And Katie obviously doesn't have those lashes on, which is great because it allows me to be able to get close up here and not worrying about getting it in the lashes. But it's just, again, it's important. There are, it's nice to have on your menu you can add on different eye treatments, use different eye pads, whether they be the collagen or the little pads that you put up under the eyes. There's a lot of nice things that you can do without having to work that area a lot. But I'm a huge fan of massage, so generally I do like to massage around the eye area a lot. But I'm just working this into Katie's skin. We're going to leave this purifying mask on her skin now for a few minutes, and we will be back to take it off with warm towels. Okay, so we are back. I have fresh water, and I've worked the purifying mask into Katie's skin. I don't like to leave it dry, especially on someone who previously had a lot of surface dryness. Katie's levels were very dry, so it wasn't just surface. Her skin was really starving for nutrients and very dry before. So I'm not going to let this mask dry tight on her skin. It is not necessary for that to happen. So we're going to take off her mask right now. So I'm going to remove the bulk of it with my sponges. The thing about when you are working and if you are doing your own laundry, it's nice to remove your masks onto something that you can throw out, because the mask will build up if you get it on your towels, too much of these thicker items like masks. It gets on the towels and it goes down the drain. It's not great for the laundry. So as much as you can do. So I'm taking the bulk of it off with the sponges first. And for some of you that like to, if you have a certain skin type where the skin is not surface dry and you are letting the masks dry tight on the skin, then what you can do is, and I'll show you here, I'm just getting some water on my sponges. So if you do like to leave the mask set tight because the skin requires that and your client's skin is not surface dry, you can get your sponges with quite a lot of water, and you can just go like this to soften and loosen up the mask. Is just sort of pat onto the skin so you're not pulling and dragging the skin that might be a little bit dry. So just pat in here, and that will loosen the mask there for you and give you some, so you're not pulling on the skin too much when you go to remove it. So often if you are breaking out around the hairline here, you want to just look at what you're putting in your hair. So it's important to just to note that very often I find when people are breaking out around the hairline that it's a hair product, something they're putting in their hair. And normally a leave-in hair product, so not necessarily the shampoo or the conditioner, but some type of leave-in product. So we've removed the mask. So Katie's skin's all really nice and clean. It feels great. It looks really good. I'm going to put on some healing gel now, and I'm going to work back in that serum that has the peptides. We're just going to work that into the skin and really help to hydrate with a little bit of the Q Flavonoid. So here we have the Q Flavonoid, which we know really feeds the skin a lot of nutrients. I've got my peptide cream. I've mixed the two together, and I'm just going to work that into Katie's skin. And again, we're going to go in all these different motions, upwards, downwards, sidewards, with making sure we get into the base of the pits there. That's the main thing we want to do, especially here where she has a few of the larger pores there, just in that area, just in the center lip too. So we just want to work this in, and then her skin looks so good. It just feels so much better. It was so dry before. It was, I mean, I want to cry. It was so dry. It's, you know, sometimes you just wonder how it is that people walk around and they're just not aware of how dry their skin is, and how, you know, it's really starving for nutrients, because people are just used to not putting cream on their skin. So it, but it makes the skin look so much healthier, so much prettier, so much more youthful. It just makes such a difference. So we're going to put a little bit of eye cream around Katie's eyes. Okay, so we have some eye product right here. Just putting that around her eyes. Again, we're putting it on the lids. It's really important to put cream on the eyelids as well, so an eye product on the eyelids. Otherwise, you know, the eye area gets really crepey up there, and it needs nourishment. The eye area here is a much thinner skin, and it is really important to hydrate that area and protect it. So Katie's skin looks so beautiful. She's all done. So this is Katie's last video, and thank you for coming back and seeing us and showing us how pretty your skin is. She's doing really great, and it will just continue to get better and better as she continues to feed it nutrients and works with her home care regimen. So thank you so much. Thank you for watching another Ask Nerida Joy video, and we will be back to see you all again soon. Bye-bye.